Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is for those of you who are feeling stuck or stagnant or just feeling like things are not really going your way. And this could be something that you're feeling in one particular area of your life or something that you're just feeling overall right now. But we are going to see why this is happening, what blockages may be present that you're not currently seeing, and what you can do to clear away these blockages so that you can get unstuck, that you can start making progress and start to see some of your manifestations coming for you. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and this is one of those readings where I really want to say don't limit yourself to just one, especially if there are multiple things or multiple areas of your life that you are feeling stuck on. You might want to listen to one group for each of those. If you feel called to more than one, of course. I just wanted to tell you guys, feel free to choose any and all groups that you feel called to, because if you're drawn to multiple, it's likely that there are messages for you in multiple groups. But without further ado, let's give you guys a close-up look at each of these crystals, and please pick whichever one or ones you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is Carnelian. Number 2 is red Aragonite. Number 3 is Septarian. And number 4 is Selenite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Carnelian, this is going to be your reading. We're going to start off the reading with some tarot cards, then we're going to pull some oracle cards to find out why it is that you are feeling stuck right now, what could be blocking you, and what you can do to fix this. And these decks are the KINO Tarot Fall Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Basically every season I put together a tarot and oracle combo that I think work well together, look good together, and also represent the energy of that season. And so these are the decks that I went with for fall 2023. They're the Moonchild Tarot Shadow Work Edition and the Dreamy Moons Affirmation cards. And for those of you who are not familiar with Tarot Stack yet, they are an online shop that features a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, which is always growing. Their collection is so beautiful and diverse, and I love what they do for our community. Not only do they create a place where we can discover all of these decks in one spot, but they're also a huge supporter of indie deck creators. 50% of their profits go towards funding new independent deck projects so that these creators can get their decks printed and published and marketed and out there into the world for those who need their messages. I love Tarot Stack. I've been collaborating with them for a long time now, and I love all of the decks that they carry as well. So if you guys want to check out this bundle, I'm gonna have it linked down below. I'll also link the individual decks if there's one in particular that you feel you resonate with, and you can actually see every card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. So if you think you might vibe with one of them but you want to get a deeper look, just be sure to check the links below. And if you do get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we're going to start with your tarot. And today I do want to take reversals. So if a card comes out reversed, we will leave it in that position. My group number 1s. Why are my group number 1s stagnant? What is blocking them right now? So we are starting off with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay. Then we have the 7 of Wands in the upright. And then we have the Hierophant in the reverse. Okay, group number ones, the first thing I need to tell you is it's actually kind of a message of validation, where if you have been feeling unlucky recently, if you have been feeling like things just haven't been going your way, you are right. And I guess why I say that is that there is some blockages happening on the side of the universe. There's a lot coming to me right now, so I'm gonna do my best to say it in like a nice orderly fashion. But with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, there is a feeling of you guys being kind of unlucky at the moment or being blocked. And I think one thing that might be frustrating is that the areas in which you are blocked, or the things that don't go your way, are things that are out of your control. So like an easy example of this is if you were gonna go on a flight and it got delayed. That's not really something that you can control. It's not like, oh, you should have worked harder and then your flight wouldn't be delayed. It's like completely external, completely out of your control. And what I am seeing with this Wheel of Fortune is that yes, there have been external things out of your control that have not been going your way, and it's almost like your spiritual team wants to validate this for you, that it's not like you're just being pessimistic. It's not like, oh, you're just choosing to see what's going wrong and you should be more positive. They're like, no, the energy has been weird. Like you have been in a period of unluckiness, or things have not been going your way. And I think that this card is just acknowledging that. In terms of things that you are manifesting right now, I do also feel that there is a little bit of divine intervention to stop certain things from happening right now. So if things are not manifesting for you, I really want to tell you that it is not your fault. It's not a matter of, oh, you're not working hard enough or you're not being positive enough. I think it has to do with divine timing and the divine plan. You know, the Wheel of Fortune, it very often gives me this vibe of something that is not in our control. It's like the will of the divine or the will of spirit. And you might be it's even with the Seven of Wands, it's like you keep hitting a wall, and it's because maybe the plans that you have or the plans that your ego has versus the plan that the universe has for you are just not really matching right now. So this is very much one of those energies where like opportunities would not come through because the universe has your perfect opportunity saved for you at some point in the future. Like there's a really specific timing that this thing needs to happen so that you can live your happiest life, or so that you can embody your calling. And it's like, it kind of feels like you and your higher self are like butting heads, or you and the universe are butting heads, because maybe there's a certain way that your ego wants things to go right now, or like a certain timing, like you want things to happen faster. And that's maybe not really matching with the greater plan. So it does feel like whatever situation you're asking about, or your life in general at this time, it is heavily influenced by fate. Like this is one of those things where, and I believe that, you know, our souls do like kind of write a script. It doesn't mean that we're sticking word for word to a plan, but you know, these are the major life events that I'm going to experience. These are the big milestones that I'm going to experience. And whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, it does have to do with a big milestone or like a major experience in your life. And I do think that at this time, there's a little bit more of fate coming into play. There's a little bit more of like the divine's work in here. And the hand of the divine is strong here. So you might feel like your will is kind of, or you're like, I don't know if it's not that you don't have free will, but the way you want things to go, that will is kind of weak right now because there's like a bigger fated event that is playing out. And I see with the Seven of Wands here that some of you guys are really fighting your destiny at this time, because the Seven of Wands, it does feel like a defense card. It feels like we're pushing back, and it feels like an uphill battle. There's something fated that you are like trying to avoid, or there's like a divine timing that you don't want to accept. You're like, no, it needs to happen faster, or no, it needs to happen this way. And so it's like you're trying to fight with destiny right now. That's kind of how it feels. And I think that that could be quite exhausting. You know, the Seven of Wands does feel like a battle that is exhausting because we feel outnumbered. Like our energy feels outnumbered, or our strength feels outnumbered. And this may be a situation where it's like you're trying to go against the current. And like, to me, this doesn't feel like a test of keep pushing. It feels like a test of, are you able to surrender? Are you able to surrender to how things are going? With the Hierophant in reverse, it is giving me the sense of like your interests and your higher self's interests are like a little bit out of alignment right now. We could be operating from the ego right now, which that's not a judgment, by the way, because every human has an ego, and we kind of have to have one to interact with the world. But the ego can be very strong and very sneaky, and sometimes lead us astray from what our soul has to say and the wishes and longings of our higher self. And so it feels like there's a slight disconnect right now, because it seems like if you're in alignment with your higher self, you would just kind of soften and let go and like surrender to the flow of how things are going and trust that everything's okay right now. But it's the ego that wants you to like keep pushing, keep fighting, keep banging against the door, keep banging against the wall, like, yeah, keep fighting. There's resistance, I think, in the ego. And whereas your soul wants you to let go and be like, no, just see where this path leads. Like, I promise it's going somewhere good. I promise it's going where you want to go, or even better than that. So yeah, this makes me feel like a slight disconnect, because if this were in the upright, I would often read this as like, you're in alignment with your higher self right now. You're in alignment with your soul. Also, this is a card that can talk about knowledge, authority. You know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. And so with this in the reverse, I think your spiritual team is lovingly reminding you, or reminding your ego, you don't know enough to determine this is the best time for something to happen, or this is the best way for something to happen. Like, you really don't know that. I'm thinking of a story that my dad told me, and he kind of tells it a bit different when he tells it to different people. So I don't know the exact way that it goes, but I think it gets the point across nicely. So this is the story my dad told me, and maybe it will resonate with you guys. So there's a man, and he has a horse. And one day his horse runs away, and he tells his neighbor, my horse ran away. And his neighbor says, oh, that's too bad. He says, I don't know, we'll see. So he's not making a judgment just yet that it's a bad thing his horse ran away. Then finally the horse comes back, but he brought 2 friends. So now the man has 3 horses, and he tells his neighbor that he has 3 horses now. And the neighbor's like, wow, that's awesome. The man says, I don't know, we'll see. Then one day the man's son is riding one of the other horses that was brought back, and he falls off the horse and breaks his back. And then the man tells his neighbor, and the neighbor says, oh no, that's terrible. And the man says, I don't know, we'll see. And then the end of the story is that I don't know how it works, but the government comes to like enlist the son into a war, and he can't go because his back is broken. So basically, okay, it's kind of a silly story, but basically the moral is that this man was never quick to judge if something was good or bad, because we still need more time to see how things play out. And I think the takeaway from that is that, like, your spiritual team is lovingly reminding you, they're acknowledging that things are frustrating right now. They're acknowledging that things are uncomfortable right now, but also reminding you, like, you never know that this shouldn't happen, or you never know that this is going to lead to something bad. And sometimes you have to just ride the wave and see where it goes. And I really feel like whatever situation you're in right now, it's not a time to fight back. It's not a time to push back. It's not a time to like force things in another direction. This really feels like it is time to surrender. And I just looked up when I was saying that, and the time is at 1313. That's the number of death. That's the number of release. You have to release to let this transformation happen. So it's like there's things that we're trying to really push, and we just have to stop. We just have to let go. There's things that we're holding on to, and we just have to let go. That's really the feeling. I do want to say Taurus and Leo energy seem to be significant here as well. So like you could have Taurus, Leo placements, or someone significant in this situation could. Scorpio as well, because we just spoke about the death card. Or these could be relevant times coming up, like Taurus season, Leo season, Scorpio season. I do want to roll some dice. Actually, no, let's pull clarifiers and then let's roll dice after. We're going to get some clarifiers for these energies for group number 1. So, we have the Six of Swords in the upright. I'm happy to see that. And that's Aquarius energy. So all of the fixed signs are here. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Those are all the fixed signs. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which I feel like in this context, it's not a bad one to be in the reverse. Oh my gosh, that's actually not a bad one to be in reverse either. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. So, and then we have, that's so interesting. These are all fixed. Like, this is Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Leo, Aquarius, this is all like fixed signs too. That's the fixed energy is crazy. Which actually, now that I think about it, that does make sense, because we're speaking about a situation or an event in your life that is very fixed. It is very fated. I think, in all of our lives, there's varying degrees of, what is more up to our free will and what is fated, what life events our soul is like, no, this is non-negotiable, we're definitely doing this in this lifetime. This, like, we'll see what path I choose once I'm down there. I think it's really like, it varies depending on the event. This event, like whatever it is you guys are asking about, this is very, very fated, like this is supposed to happen. So, the energy is really fixed in place to secure this experience for you. And so if you were trying to go against this current, I think you would struggle quite a bit. Yeah. I am really happy to see the Six of Swords here, especially clarifying the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, because like we spoke about, oh wait, first of all, look at how beautiful this is. Oh my gosh. What a gorgeous image. I love that. Okay, especially, we're talking about this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which is showing a period of unluckiness, of things not really going your way. The Six of Swords literally means moving away from that unfavorable energy, and things are going smoothly now. Things are peaceful, things are going swimmingly. So things will get better, things will start to go more smoothly after this period of unluckiness that you are going through. You will enter into a lucky season of your life. I'm also just thinking, it's like trying to force the seasons to change faster or slower. Like you can't do that, but you can sit through that season assured that the season will never last forever. If you are sitting through the winter every day trying to like will spring to come faster, it's going to feel like a long and tiring winter. But if you just embrace winter while it's here, meaning embrace the current season of your life while it's here, knowing that there's literally no way it can last forever. There's no way that you can be stuck forever. There's no way that you can be unlucky forever. The only constant in this life is that things always change and nothing lasts forever. So you're bound to enter into this peaceful, smoothly flowing state. It is just a matter of time. And I think the advice here is really to just embrace what is and to surrender to what is, because that's what's going to take you to where you're meant to be. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, so this indicates an acceleration that's happening. Things are probably moving slow for you right now or not moving at all, but Seven of Pentacles in reverse indicates that like you don't have to be patient anymore because things are speeding up. So we have things are moving smoother, things are moving faster. And then with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, this is also a nice card to have in the reverse because it's upright, meaning is lack. So when I see this in the reverse, it feels like whatever you were going without has been restored now. For any of you who are dealing with financial troubles, are dealing with like an insecure job situation, instability at work, instability in terms of your living situation, or if you're struggling with loneliness, these things are going to be reversed, I guess, or these things are going to be replenished. So resources will be replenished, support will be replenished. What you have been going without will be returned to you. Any lack that you've been feeling, any instability, feeling left alone, feeling unsupported, that energy will be replenished for you. Yeah, so let's do the dice now. Anything else group number one needs to know? We have Mercury in Libra in the 4th house. So it does seem like you're being encouraged to, in any way you can and in any way you feel comfortable, to speak about what you are going through, because we have like communications, relationships, and partnerships, and the 4th house, which is making me think of safety and security. So, talking to people you trust, people with whom you feel safe about what it is that you're going through, this can make you feel less alone, or this can make you feel supported. What you're going through, I know it can feel when you're going through these hard times like you're the only one, or like people won't understand you, but I think there are many people out there who can relate to what you're going through, who can offer words of encouragement, or even who can offer you advice if you feel comfortable to, speak up and talk about what it is that you're going through. Also, this is kind of a specific message, but for those of you who are waiting for some kind of communication regarding like the selling of a house or the renting of a property, or like a deal going through, you could be getting that communication soon. Also, like, it's better to, there's also a message here, maybe it's just in this particular situation, it's better to get advice from people who are close to you and people who know you rather than random strangers at this time. That's not like blanket advice that I would give in any situation. Sometimes I think it's good to get advice from people who are outsiders because maybe they have a more neutral perspective. But it seems like in this case, like people who know you will be more comforting or will be able to support you better. And people who are strangers or who don't know you well or who don't know your situation, they could actually fill your head with stuff that is not helpful. That's kind of what it seems like. Oh, and of course, like, this placement could be relevant to you or someone else in your life. Mercury in Libra, Mercury in the 4th house, or someone who has Libra in the 4th house. What else? What else does number one need to know? We have the moon in Pisces in the 5th house. Okay, this is definitely giving me the vibe of someone who is creative or who can really beautifully channel their emotions into art, or who can have a profound emotional release through art. If you are a creator, definitely don't stop creating right now. I'm hearing like if you're trying to pursue something creative as a career, there's a message of like, keep going, even if it feels like nobody cares, even if it feels like nobody's watching. Keep going and keep doing this for yourself, because creative expression can be a huge catharsis for you. It can be a huge, it allows your soul to, it allows your soul to come through, because when you're in artistic mode, you can bypass the filters of your ego. Because when you enter into that mode of like, oh, I'm just making art, it can feel more like, oh, I'm stepping into a character. I'm stepping into an imaginary situation. I'm stepping into a make-believe situation. And so your ego kind of drops its guard of like what I need to deem as true or untrue, what I need to deem as an acceptable or unacceptable thing to express and believe. Because like, no, it's just art. It's just art. So it's kind of a way to bypass your ego, and through your expression, see how you genuinely feel. See what your soul is genuinely saying. And if you don't really identify as an artistic person, or if you don't create stuff, this could also be indicating through your consumption of art that could be like powerfully healing for you, or that could make you feel less alone. You might hear messages in music that you really resonate with, like, yes, this is exactly what I'm going through, or in movies or TV shows or in books that you read. And you'll realize, like, you know, if let's say there's a character in a book that you really, really resonate with, then you know that the author of that book can also resonate with that character, or maybe the author has been through something like what you're going through. Like, you can connect to people, connect to the collective through art, and feel less alone. And again, if you create art, even if it feels like no one's watching right now, like someday they will, and someday people will relate to what you have made, and someday you will make people feel less alone. Okay, so for the last part of this reading, I just saw 2525, by the way, which for me, that's totally like a soul family union, divine union number. So very cool to see that after we're talking about like your art finding people, or you connecting to people through art. Art may be a really big bridge between you and your soul family, or between you and your divine counterpart. So definitely don't hold back, express yourself, or like consume as much of your favorite art as you can, as you want to, I mean, because that will bring you closer together. Let's get some affirmation cards for you. What affirmations can help group number 1 right now? What affirmations can help group number 1? I do not have to prove myself to anyone. Interesting. So if you're feeling like you really need to push to manifest something, or you need to push for something to happen sooner, your spiritual team is maybe encouraging you to look at this. Maybe the urge of your ego that tells you you need to do this, or you need to do this sooner. It may come from this belief of, I need to prove myself to other people. For example, if you're like, I need to make a successful business and I need to do it yesterday, or it has to happen this way. I'm not saying that your desire to have a successful business comes from this. Having a successful business may very well be a part of your soul's purpose. If that's something you want, it likely is. But the feelings of pressure, the feelings of you need to do it faster, or you need to do it better than that person, or that pressure that your ego puts on you to perform your life purpose in a certain way, that comes from this. That comes from feeling the need to prove yourself. And I feel, group number one, if you really internalize this, that you do not have to prove yourself to anyone, you'll probably still want the same things, but it won't feel as urgent, or you won't feel pressure. You won't feel pressure to get it done by a certain time, or like to do it in a certain way. I think this feeling of needing to prove yourself might be actually blocking you right now. And it may be killing your creativity as well. And also, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, we're talking about your creativity, which feeling like you need to prove yourself can really kill your creativity. And also, we were talking about like sticking to people you know closely, to people who know and love you, focusing on these relationships with your family, with your close friends. That will, I was gonna say that will naturally help this, unless you feel like you need to prove yourself to like your parents or your family. But what I was more feeling was like someone who feels they need to prove themselves like to literal strangers. They need to prove themselves to like people on social media, or like people they don't even know that well. People it's like, it's giving caring about people's opinions who we don't even know. And I guess this could be your chosen family. It's just your close ones. It's like the more you talk to and open up to your close ones and cherish those relationships, the less you'll care about proving yourself to other people. And I think that's something that's really blocking you or making you feel like something is wrong right now. What affirmations? Ooh. We also have, with clarity of mind, I feel abundance and worthiness coming through. That's really cool, because like 6 of Swords, that's clarity of mind. Reversed 5 of Pentacles, that's abundance and worthiness. And I love this card because it really shows like a big percentage of abundance and worthiness, if not all of it, is really in your mind. Abundance is not a number in your bank account. It's not a material possession. It's really a state of mind. It's a feeling. We also have, I am mindful at all times and live only within each moment I have. So again, there's that feeling of just embracing the season that you're in. Know that it's not going to last forever. And when the future comes, then you can be in the future, because then it will be the present. Let's get one more. Wow, I am a vibrational match to all that I desire. Even when you're struggling, you are a vibrational match to all you desire, because in fact, the struggle that you're currently going through is the journey to what you desire. It's clear that it's not a sign that something has gone wrong. So I just want to read through these affirmations, like in case you want to, I don't know, screenshot them or write them down or use them in your practices. We have, I do not have to prove myself to anyone. With clarity of mind, I feel abundance and worthiness coming through. I am mindful at all times and live only within each moment I have. And I am a vibrational match to all that I desire. And there's 3223 on the camera timer as I'm holding that up, which I love because it's a mirroring number, right? So you're literally a reflection of all you desire. You're matching it already. Okay, my group number ones, these are all the messages that I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. And thank you so much to Tarot Stack for allowing me to collaborate with you again. Thank you so much to the beautiful creators of these beautiful decks. And I'm gonna have the bundle linked down below, so which is both decks, and I'll also have the individual decks linked down below as well if you want to check them out further. If you want to see more of the cards, you can do that on Tarot Stack's website. And if you would like to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. You can also decide on the topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate your support, group number ones, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, and I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number twos, so if you guys chose the red Aragonite, this is going to be your reading. We're going to start off by pulling some tarot cards, and then we're going to pull some oracle cards to see why it is that you are stuck or stagnant right now, what may be blocking you, and how you can remove these blockages. And the decks that we're going to be using today are the KINO Tarot Fall Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Basically every season I put together a tarot and oracle deck combo that work well together, that look good together, and that represent the energy of that season. And so for this season of fall 2023, I went with the Moonchild Tarot Shadow Work Edition and the Dreamy Moons affirmation cards. If you guys are not familiar with Tarot Stack yet, they are an online shop that features a huge selection of beautiful indie tarot and oracle decks. Their selection is always growing and becoming more and more diverse. You can browse decks from a wide range of different creators all in one place, and I love the support that they give to our community. Not only do they have this platform for creators to feature their decks, but they also fund new indie deck projects. So 50% of Tarot Stack's profits go towards printing, publishing, and marketing tarot and oracle decks by independent creators to get them out there into the world so that those of us who need their messages can receive them. So I'm super grateful for Tarot Stack. Thank you so much for collaborating with me once again. And if you guys are interested in checking out this bundle, I'll have it linked down below. I'm also going to link the individual decks. So if there's one in particular that you feel like you would vibe with or you want to check it out deeper, you can look at all of the cards in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. And if you would like to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we're going to start off with your tarot. And I am going to be taking reversals today. Why are my group number twos stuck? What is currently blocking my group number twos from making progress or from manifesting their desires? So we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Four of Cups in reverse. So those came out together. I'm going to leave them as one energy. my gosh. We have a lot of cards just fell out on the floor. Let's try that again. We have the Nine of Pentacles in the upright. That makes a lot of sense. And then we have the Strength card in the upright. So I do just want to point out we have Leo energy here with the Strength card. And then for some more specific astrological placements, we have the Moon in Taurus, the Moon in Cancer, as well as Venus in Virgo. So these particular placements could be relevant to you or to someone significant in this situation. And actually, like Leo with Venus in Virgo, that is like a combination in people's birth chart. So someone who has those placements could be significant. It definitely doesn't have to be the case. I just mentioned those in case it's a confirmation for some of you watching. But let's get into the meaning of these cards, because I feel like this is a pretty clear message of why you are stuck. There is like a one-sided, unreciprocated energy here. And it seems like you guys, my group number 2s, are getting the short end of the stick, so to speak, in a particular situation where someone is not reciprocating like support or reciprocating work or reciprocating feelings. It feels like you are putting in a lot of effort. You are giving a lot to a certain situation, and then there's like another party on the other side that's just not showing up in the same way. And I guess to put it simply, group number 2, it seems like you are accepting less than what you deserve. With this Six of Pentacles in reverse, right away I'm like, okay, there's an unreciprocated situation here. But with the Four of Cups in reverse, your spiritual team is saying you're not unaware of this. You know that this is happening. This is not one of those situations where it's like, oh, you don't realize that you deserve so much more. It actually feels like you know that you want more, like you know that you should be getting more, and yet you're just putting up with it. And so I think what we need to focus on is that question of why. So, to illustrate this energy in a few examples, actually, I'm getting the example of a musician who belongs to a record label. This is like super specific. A musician who belongs to a record label, and they are putting out some amazing work. They're super talented, but their record label is not really pushing them at all. They're not putting in the budget for this artist, and in this case you are the artist who is super talented, and this label is not even putting in the budget, not even recognizing the amazing work that they're doing. And so every project that this artist puts out is just falling flat, and it's not the artist's fault, it's the label's fault, because they have to be putting in that same amount of energy for this to work. So of course you don't have to be a musician, but it's like if you belong to a team or if you belong to a company, I feel like you're doing amazing work, and then because it's not getting matched by the other people involved, things are not going anywhere. And this could be a situation of also like being underpaid or undercompensated or undercharging for the work that you're doing, or a situation where you're giving emotionally to someone, you're giving someone your time and energy and emotional support, and yet they're not showing up in that same way for you. They're not treating you with that same support and that same respect. This could be many different things. And yet, that person who is honestly being failed by the other party, because their potential, their talent, the love and support is not being recognized, and it's not being matched. So I know that's harsh wording, but it's like you're being failed. And yet it's like you need to be freed. You need to do something independently. You need to do something by yourself. You're actually, we talk about many hands make light work. It's better to work on something as a group rather than alone. But if those many hands are not doing shit, you're actually better off without those hands. It's better to be alone than to be with someone or be in a group that is dragging you down, and it feels like you're dragged down, or you're not valued or supported in the situation. And I think you can see that, and yet it's like you're not doing anything about it. So in that artist's example, and maybe you can't, honestly, like I'm not judging you if you're in a situation where you can't leave. You know, like in that example of the musician, maybe they're in a contract and they literally can't leave. But for others of you, it might be that musician just has it in their head. You can't be successful without a label. Like, I can't do this on my own. But they could probably do much better on their own versus this label who's not doing anything to help them. Or that person who's giving and giving to a relationship and the other person is not showing up for them, they're better off single, or they're better off without that friend. They will actually feel more lonely in that connection with the wrong person than they would if they were alone. So that could be a reason why we're holding on, because like something tells us we need this to be successful, or we need this to be happy. But this Nine of Pentacles in the upright is saying you're perfectly capable of being alone, or of doing this alone, or of taking a more independent approach. It's better to do things independently than to be unsupported by the wrong people. So again, if you're in a situation where you can't leave, please ignore me, and maybe this reading is just like confirmation. If anything, I hope it's confirmation that it's not your fault. And I don't want to be like, oh, it's their fault, but they're just not, like, there's another party that's just not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're showing up. You're giving it your all. But when others don't match that energy, it's like you can't let them drag you down. And I know I'm saying a lot of things that sound quite harsh, but there's a feeling of needing to break free and do things on your own, because you will be stronger if you're independent. Oh, and strength. You'll be stronger if you're independent. And I think, honestly, I think this strength card, I think you know your worth. I think you know what you deserve. But I think you also have to believe in your capabilities. It's like we have the self-worth, but we need the self-belief. It's like you're halfway there because you know that you deserve more. But you have to believe in your ability to get more. So maybe someone's in a job that's not paying them well, and they know that they deserve more money for the work that they're doing, but they don't believe in their ability to go find that, or they don't believe in life's ability to bring that to them. It's like we need more belief, we need more faith. So perhaps I do think there's another party that is blocking you, but it could also be a lack of belief or a lack of faith on your side that is holding you back from making improvements and freeing yourself. So let's get some clarifiers for this energy. What else does group number 2 need to know about the situation? We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. We have the Ten of Swords. So yeah, there's an ending that needs to happen. And then, and then we have the Two of Cups in the upright. Oh my gosh. I really don't want to do this because this is a beautiful deck, but I'm just gonna put some crystals, because YouTube doesn't like the female chest, which is so silly. Anyway, this is so beautiful. Like, we had the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is talking about a lack of reciprocity. The meaning of the Two of Cups is literally reciprocity, like mutually loving each other, appreciating each other, supporting each other. So when you're able to reject this old energy, when you're in a position where you can do that, or where you find the courage to do so, this is what's waiting for you, this beautiful Two of Cups. Someone who will match your energy, who will match your passion, who will match your vision, and also who will match your sensitivities and how much you care. I'm getting very emotional when I sit in this energy, because I'm seeing someone who, I just see you, it's like you're going up to someone with an idea that you're really passionate about, or you're speaking about something that really, really matters to you. And it's like you just get shut down over and over again. So this could be, you know, going up to a friend or a significant other and talking about your needs, and they shut you down. Or going up to your boss and talking about all of these ideas that you have for the company, and they shut you down. And it hurts, because like you care about these ideas so much, and they're just like, oh yeah, that's nice. There's a feeling of you getting shut down, and not, like, your ideas are not being valued. We have 2 Gemini cards here, so I really do think it has to do with like what you're saying, or what you're envisioning, or the ideas that you have. They're not being supported, and they're not being nurtured. And not only do you deserve someone to hold space for your ideas and to validate them and help them grow, but these people are out there. But there's an ending that needs to happen first with this Ten of Swords. There's an ending that needs to happen. And I really like the Ten of Swords in this deck for, like, in the context of your reading. The fact that there's no person has been hurt by these swords. So you will survive. You will get out of this situation relatively unscathed, it seems like. And maybe one of the reasons that you're sticking around is like being afraid of the negative consequences, or being afraid of the backlash that you might receive if you like step away from this agreement or step away from this relationship. But this Ten of Swords is making me feel that you will be okay. There could be some words exchanged that hurt you, like sticks and stones may break, whatever it is. Like, there could be some words that hurt to hear. But when it comes to like any meaningful, like for example, in the musician example, if they're trying to quit and do things independently, they might get a little bit of I don't know, what would you call it? Like guilt tripping, or the authority figure that they're talking to might say some not very nice things about them. And yes, that's going to hurt, but they can't do any lasting damage to your career, essentially. It's like they can't damage you in a real way. They can maybe hurt your feelings. They can maybe say some not nice things, which is still meaningful. Like, that hurt is still real. But in the long term, it's like they cannot hurt your success. They cannot hurt your future. That's the feeling. So definitely this confirms an ending. And then with the Eight of Swords in reverse, like, I feel like this is the key. This is the key to your freedom. And the Eight of Swords really does show like a prison that is mental. It's our own belief that we can't do it, which makes it true. It's our own belief that we can't free ourselves that makes it true. And again, please ignore me if you are in a situation that you like that's out of your control, that you can't get out of. If that's the case, maybe this reading isn't for you. But I don't want to be like lecturing someone who has no choice to stay where they are, you know what I mean? And I understand if it's difficult too. I recognize that if it's difficult. But I think this Eight of Swords is showing that a big part of this blockage is mental. It's like the idea that you can't get out, or the idea that something bad will happen if you try to get out, or the idea that even if you do get out, there's not going to be anything out there for you. You know, it's not like out there is going to be any better. I think it's those kind of thoughts that are really contributing to being stuck. And I think changing your perspective is really the key to freeing yourself. So, you know, that person who thinks you can only be successful with the label maybe needs to actively look for evidence that that is not true. Needs to start following or learning about successful independent artists and see how they did it. Or that person who believes I should stay in this relationship because I don't want to be alone, or it's better than being single, maybe also needs to, it's like we need to actively seek evidence to disprove what the limiting belief says. So to find people who are happily single and independent and thriving, or to find people who are self-employed and who are not like dependent on a boss or dependent on an agency, and see how well they're doing and see how they did it. And maybe hear some of their past stories of feeling trapped like we do now, and not believing in themselves like we do now. I think that changing your mindset in this situation, it's gonna take more than just affirmations or more than just suggesting things to your mind. I think we actually need to provide your mind with hard evidence that, like, look, this is not true. You can be successful on your own. You can be happy on your own. You can free yourself from this situation and make an amazing life for yourself, because look at how this person did it and look at how that person did it. And to not just wait for that proof to find you, but to, you know, to actively look for it. Yeah. Even like if there's a mental struggle that you're going through, this is kind of a specific example, but, you know, to look for content of people that have recovered from that struggle. Maybe there's even like a disorder, an addiction, mental health struggles. It's like we're looking for people who have recovered, or looking for people who have learned how to manage that, and see what it is that they did and see how they're thriving now. Like we have to look for that. We have to look for that evidence, because it is out there and it is true that you can overcome whatever it is you're going through now. So I'm going to, oh yeah, I want to also mention Gemini and Cancer, in case I didn't mention that before. Gemini and Cancer energy are present here. A Leo with Venus in Virgo, or a Gemini with Venus in Cancer could be significant to this group. Okay, let's roll some dice. Okay, we have Mars in Aries in the 4th house. I feel like Mars in Aries would not like to be in the 4th house. This is like firecracker energy. You guys are incredibly capable and incredibly talented, and these two together, it feels like you have a lot of pent-up energy. This is the energy, Mars in Aries, this is an energy of a pioneer that wants to like blast out into the world, blast out into space. And in the 4th house, it's like it's stuck at home. It feels confined. This Mars in Aries energy feels confined in the 4th house. There's like a feeling of being trapped, where your soul wants to go out into the big wide world and excel and reach really high heights, but it's like stuck in a comfort zone, or you like stuck in a cage that it doesn't want to be in. Yeah, I feel pent up energy. And then we have Moon in Capricorn in the 12th house. These could also be relevant astrological placements to you or someone you know. Moon in Capricorn in the 12th house. There may be some of you who you're going through this, but you're trying to put on a brave face. The moon in Capricorn, like, first of all, moon in the 12th house feels like hidden emotions. And then with Capricorn, it feels like someone who's trying to be strong or trying to be stoic about what they're going through. So maybe you feel, and I don't know what the reason is for you, maybe you feel like you shouldn't be complaining about something. Maybe you feel like, oh, I shouldn't talk about what I'm going through because I should be grateful. Maybe this situation that you're in was one that you used to wish for. And so you're like, I used to wish for this, so now that I'm in it, I can't be complaining about it, because what does that say? That makes me look ungrateful. So it's like you don't want to come across as ungrateful, or you don't want to burden other people with these struggles that you're having. And so again, it's hidden. And then it just bubbles up under the surface. I feel like this group has a lot of pent-up frustration, or maybe even like pent-up creative energy, or anger, or just physical energy. And what I will say though is that once you do get out of the situation, all of that pent-up energy will serve you, and you can use it to propel you to really high heights. I think once you are out of the situation, you will excel in your career and reach a very high position in what you do. That much is clear. You have a lot of energy to channel and to harness to propel you to your success. So let's see what affirmations we have for you with these oracle cards. What affirmations could be helpful for group number 2 at this time? Sorry, wheat. We have, I silence my mind and listen intently. Oh my gosh, this person in a bottle. I refuse to give up because I haven't tried all possible ways. Wow. So there's more than one way. That's really important for this group. There is more than one way for you to be successful and happy. Wow, I forgive myself and set myself free. Oh my goodness. I would really recommend some kind of physical activity for this group. I don't know if you enjoy like exercising, working out. Moving your body will be really beneficial in terms of clearing your mind, clearing the chatter in your mind. The level of intensity is very up to you, whatever you feel like doing or are comfortable with, even if it's like walking outside or doing some stretches or doing some yoga poses. That movement will release pent-up energy, and it will also, because you're so focused on like what you have to, like for example, if you're doing yoga, it's like you're so focused on the position you have to get your body in, or if you're running, you're so focused on just putting one leg in front of the other and breathing. You're so focused on your body that it stops the chatter of your mind. And that's when you'll hear your soul speaking. That's when you'll hear the wisdom of your soul, and you'll stop hearing this stuff about why you need to stay where you are, or why you can't walk away from something. These affirmations are, wow. I release all negative thoughts of the past and all worries about the future. Just let it all go. Like, there's this feeling of things that were bottled up are being released. You're setting yourself free physically, mentally, spiritually. It's time to free yourself. Wow. Super straightforward and powerful message for this group. So I'm just gonna go through the affirmations again one at a time in case you wanted to like screenshot them or write them down or use them in your practices. So first we have, I silence my mind and listen intently. I refuse to give up because I haven't tried all possible ways. I forgive myself and set myself free. And I release all negative thoughts of the past and all worries about the future. My group number 2s, these are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for allowing me to collaborate with you on another seasonal bundle. And thank you so much to the creators of these beautiful decks. I love how they work together. It's an honor to be able to use these creations. I'm gonna have the bundle, which is both of these decks together, linked down below, and then I'll also have the individual decks linked down below if you would like to take a closer look at them. Again, you can look at all of the cards in the decks on Tarot Stack's website, and if you do feel called to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive timeless pick a card readings, just like this one. You can also decide the topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I really, really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate your support. Group number 2, I'm sending lots of love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, and I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the Septarian, this is going to be your reading. We're going to start off by pulling some tarot cards, and then we'll pull some oracle cards to see why it is that you are feeling stuck or stagnant right now, what might be currently blocking your energy, and what you can do to remove these blockages. And the decks that we're using today are the KINO Tarot Fall Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Basically, every season I put together a tarot and oracle deck combo that work well together, that look good together, and that represent the energy of that season. And so for this season of fall 2023, I went with the Moonchild Tarot Shadow Work Edition and the Dreamy Moons Affirmation cards. And for those of you who are not familiar with Tarot Stack, they are an online shop that features a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks. Their selection is always growing. It's so beautiful and diverse. You can browse decks from all different creators in one place. And I love the support that Tarot Stack gives to our community. Not only do they provide this platform so that more people can learn about these indie decks, but they also fund new indie deck projects. So 50% of their profits go towards printing, publishing, and marketing the tarot and oracle decks of independent creators. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for collabing with me. I am gonna have this bundle linked down below. I'm also gonna link the individual decks if there's one in particular that you are resonating with and you wanna check out more. You can look at every single card in the decks on Tarot Stack's website. So if you resonate with these decks, be sure to check the links down below. And if you would like to get the bundle, which is both decks together, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we're gonna start off with your tarot. My group number threes. What is blocking group number three? Why are they stuck right now? Why are my group number threes stuck? So, I do want to mention just before I flip this over that I will be taking reversals today. So we have the Chariot in reverse. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. And then we have Strength in reverse. Okay, I want to mention that we have Cancer and Leo energy here. So you could have Cancer or Leo placements, or a significant person in this situation, or just a significant person in your life could have Cancer or Leo placements. This could also be indicating that whenever you're watching this, the next Cancer and Leo season are going to be significant. So that is basically late June to late August. That window coming up next could be an important time for you. There's a pretty clear message with this Chariot and Knight of Swords in the reverse. The Chariot, we actually don't see it on this deck, but you will often see it depicted with two creatures. You know, there's the person riding the chariot, and then there's the two creatures who are pulling the chariot forward. And this is a card that talks about forward motion, but also highlights that both of these creatures need to be working together and need to be moving in the same direction in order for this chariot to move forward. So we do need a clear vision, and we do need commitment in order for this chariot to move forward. And so when this card came out in the reverse, I thought, okay, like the two creatures, so to speak, the two creatures that are pulling this chariot they're not on the same page. They're using different maps, or they have different intentions, and so the chariot's not moving forward. And then the Knight of Swords in reverse came out, which to me indicates some lack of mental clarity or a lack of decisiveness. It's like I see this person who's trying to get from point A to point B, but it's like, you know, when you're using a GPS and it keeps saying recalculating. It's like this person keeps changing their mind of what route they're going to take. And so the arrival time keeps getting later and later and later. They're like, I'm going to take the highway. No, I'm going to get off and take the scenic route. You know what? Actually, no, I'm going to get back on the highway. Oh, but now I have to merge and there's traffic, and never mind, I'm going to get off again. It's like someone needs to just commit to one route and stay on it. Someone needs to just commit to one approach and really give that all of their energy. So to translate this, I think that what your spiritual team could be saying is that you may be stuck because your energy is scattered. You may be trying to do too many things at the same time and not really giving anything your full attention and your full effort. Or you could be changing your approach so often that nothing is really sticking. This is kind of a weird analogy that's coming to my mind, but it just came to my mind like a country where the president keeps changing every few years and then is undoing what the president before did, so no progress is ever really made in any direction. That's kind of the vibe of this reading, except for I feel like this is all something that is going on within you. There's also, I'm imagining someone who is like trying to reach certain fitness goals, but then they keep changing their workout plan every week. And so it's like, if you stuck to one 90-day workout plan, you would see results. But if you keep starting a different one every week, it's like you're not building off of anything because you keep changing your mind, if that makes sense. Or someone who becomes like really fixated on learning one skill, or like they want to make this project successful, but then they jump to something else. Or like someone keeps jumping to different approaches. And it's like, it will work if you stick to something. That's kind of the vibe. I hope that makes sense. It's like we need to take your energy and direct it into one thing, or direct it into one approach. And what will make it successful is your commitment. Your commitment and your perseverance is what will make it successful. So it's less about the path that you choose being right or wrong, and it's about your own commitment to that path. This might be one of the groups that struggles with, is this the right path for me? Or what is the right path for me? And your spiritual team wants you to know you can make any path successful if you give it your all, because that is the power of you. It's not a matter of choosing correctly or incorrectly. It's a matter of, if you pour your heart and soul and energy into this, it's bound to be successful. If you water, whatever garden you water, it's going to grow. So I think it's believing in your ability to grow the garden, believing in the power of your commitment, believing in the power of your dedication. And it's interesting that you guys got the strength card, because this came out in a different group. I don't remember if it was group 1 or 2, but it did come out in another reading, and we were talking a lot about self-belief with this card. And so maybe that's something that's missing here as well. It's like, because we lack the self-belief, we're looking externally for which path is it that's going to make me successful, or which approach is it that's going to make me successful. It's not the path, it's not the approach, it's you. It's the power of your continued efforts. You are going to make you successful in this situation. But you need to give yourself enough time to really see your magic working. And it's like, if you keep jumping from one thing to the next, you're not giving yourself the time to show you how capable you are and show you how strong your efforts are. You're looking outside for the right thing to bring you success, but the key is actually inside you. It's the strength of your effort and dedication and perseverance. So it's like, we need more eggs in fewer baskets. You know, we don't need like one egg in 10 different baskets. We need like 10 eggs in one basket, or 5 eggs in 2 baskets. I'm not saying you have to only do one thing in your life, but I think our energy just needs to be a bit less scattered, and we need more clarity about like, this is what I'm focusing on. This is what I'm focusing on. Because it's like, we won't see results if we're changing our mind a lot, or changing our approach a lot, or if we're giving minimal effort to many different things. Yeah, so let's get some clarifiers for this energy. Yeah, also with, the Knight of Swords and the Chariot, they're cards that can indicate speed, can indicate things happening quickly. And so with these in reverse, it's like, it's almost like the energy of someone who is getting bored or who is giving up because they don't see immediate results. It's like there is a lack of dedication or patience or perseverance with the Strength card. It's kind of the vibe of someone who's like, I went to the gym for a week and I didn't see results, so I stopped. It's like we just need more persistence, I think. And that might be a bit of an exaggeration. The like, I went to the gym for a week, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I think your spiritual team is saying like, you gotta stick around to see the results. Okay, clarifiers for my group number 3s. So then we have the Death card in the upright. Interesting. Then we have the Fool in the upright. And then we have the Six of Cups in the upright. Oh my goodness. And you guys have a lot of major arcana. 2/3 of these cards are major arcana, which is interesting. We have, so in addition to Cancer and Leo energy, we also have Scorpio energy coming up twice and Aquarius energy. So Scorpio and Aquarius could also be relevant placements that you or someone significant has. This Death card is definitely giving more clarity. Actually, the Death and the Fool card. This definitely indicates that there are things that want to be released and there are things that want to be let go of. And that for me kind of strengthens this idea that there are certain things, there may be certain things you're giving your time and effort to that are not worthwhile or that are not fulfilling for you, but it's like you keep putting your energy into them. And what this is looking like now with Death and the Fool here is like there's something that you really want to be successful in, but if you were to really put all of your heart and soul into it and commit to that journey and it didn't work out, that would be quite painful. And so there's almost like a bit of, I guess maybe self-sabotage could be a way to describe it. It's like we want to avoid the pain of giving it our all and failing, so we won't give it our all. We'll just kind of half do it so that it's almost like we can lead ourselves on and say like, yeah, I'm trying to make it happen. Yeah, I'm still working on it. Because the second we give it our all, it's like the moment of truth. It's like, oh, it's real now. Is this going to work or not? And so we hold on to all these other tasks or all these other projects that are not as important to us. But then at least we can say like, oh, I'm not dedicating to that project because I'm too busy. I have so many other things going on. Because that's makes the ego happy. Like, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm just working on so many things. But if the ego has to admit, I'm really scared to give my all to what matters to me because I'm scared of the failure, that doesn't really stroke the ego, if you will. So I feel like there's a fear of getting clear on our direction. There's a fear of actually intentionally picking, this is what I'm going to do. You know, if we're just doing whatever and we happen to succeed, then there's less pressure versus like, if I make a very deliberate plan because I am trying to be successful and then it doesn't work out, that could be devastating. I don't know if this is exactly the same, but I was talking to my friend recently, and we were talking about karaoke, and they have a nice singing voice, but when we go to karaoke, they're always just like screaming and joking around and not seriously singing. And they're like, oh yeah, that's because I'd rather just sing bad from the start versus I don't want to sound bad when I'm actually trying to sing well. So I'd rather just not even try and like purposely sound bad. And it's like you might unconsciously be doing something like that where like you're intentionally scattering your energy so that you don't commit to what you really want to commit to, or feel like you can't commit to what you really want to commit to, so that you never have to actually find out when you put yourself to the test, will you rise or will you fall? Because that's a leap of faith, which is what the Fool card is. Like when you give your all to something you're passionate about, that's a huge leap of faith. That's scary. It's like diving into the unknown. It's that moment of truth, of jumping off this cliff and being like, am I gonna fly or am I gonna fall on my face? But I can't find out anyway because I'm so busy. I have so much going on. That's kind of the vibe. So yeah, we need to commit, which takes self-belief, and it takes embracing the fear of the unknown and taking the leap of faith into that unknown. And also recognizing if you take that leap of faith and fail, it's not the end of the world, because you can try again. And that doesn't say anything about you if you failed. It's okay. You know, sometimes I think we build things up too much that we don't even allow ourselves the grace to fail and to make mistakes. Because we're like, if this is my destiny, if this is what I'm meant to do, then I have to be good at it. Then I have to do it perfectly. Otherwise, I'm a joke. Like we could be taking it a bit too seriously, and that's making that leap of faith hard. We do have the Six of Cups here, so there could be something from your past, either in this lifetime or even from a past life, that is making you afraid to take this leap. Maybe there's a past failure that's kind of hanging over your head and we're scared to do that again. It is kind of giving the vibe of someone who got their heart broken and now they're afraid to fall in love, and so they don't commit to anyone. It's commitment issues from a previous hurt. This is what it's looking like. And so, but our ego tries to hide that from us. Our ego doesn't want to admit that it's afraid of committing, so it makes up this other story, and we unconsciously play it out. But there is a fear of committing to what really matters to you, that your ego is like sneakily hiding from you. Interesting. I'm gonna roll some dice. We're gonna roll a couple sets of astro dice to see what else you need to know. We have Pluto in Libra in the 10th house. Interesting. Pluto in the 10th house feels like a massive upheaval, either in your career or a massive upheaval and transformation in how others perceive you, in your reputation. You may be worried about making these changes because of how people will perceive you. Or you may be afraid to take a leap of faith in your career because you know that once you do it, there's no going back. And it's like you're worried about burning bridges with some people perhaps, or you're worried about how people will perceive this decision. And those fears are keeping you stuck. These could also be like relevant astrological placements for you or someone in your life. Libra in the 10th house, a Libra midheaven, or Pluto in the 10th house, or Pluto in Libra. Okay, then we have the moon in Taurus in the 11th house. Interesting. It's funny that for some of you there's like a fear of burning bridges or a fear of how people will perceive you, because what I see from this is that your spiritual team is kind of encouraging a change in your social circle right now, or a change in your friendships, a change in who you keep around. This to me feels like some of your friends or the people you spend the most time with are keeping you stuck in your ways, or are keeping you in your comfort zone. You might have some people around you who are, I don't think enabler is the right word, but people who, yes, they reassure you and they keep you comfortable, but maybe who don't really challenge you, or surrounded by people who don't challenge themselves and who just kind of stay where they are. And there's nothing wrong with staying where you are, but I feel like your soul doesn't want to stay where they are. They want to go somewhere else. They want to keep advancing. And so the people you are keeping company are not really helping with that. They are facilitating you staying in your comfort zone. And these are maybe the very people that you're worried about how they'll perceive you if you start to make these changes. So finally, oh, and same for this, Moon in Taurus, Moon in the 11th house, or Taurus in the 11th house could be relevant placements to you or someone in your life. But for the final part of this reading, we're going to pull some of our affirmation cards and see what affirmations could help you in this situation. What affirmations could help group number 3 to get unstuck in this situation? We have, I trust my inner voice. I radiate love and gratitude. I am at home in my body. And I go with the flow and feel my connection to the stream of life. It's funny, but also not funny at the same time. It makes a lot of sense. Throughout all of the groups today, really, the key to getting unstuck is to get back in touch with your soul and what your soul is telling you. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You know, right from the start, I trust my inner voice. There's a need to get back in touch with your inner voice. And I think the key to doing that is actually shown in these two following cards. First of all, I am at home in my body. So grounding yourself and getting back into your body, as opposed to being in your mind and in your head and in your feelings, getting back to your body, feeling every part of your body, feeling your breath, feeling how the air takes up space in your belly, feeling how it goes in your nose and out your mouth. Yeah, grounding and getting back in touch with your body. And you'll know when you're in touch with your soul because you will feel overcome with love and gratitude. I would even be so extreme to say that if you are feeling something that is not love, if you are feeling something that is not gratitude, or that is not imbued with those energies, then it's probably not your soul talking, because these energies are so inherent to your soul. I think it's really telling too that we have the breath illustrated here, and we have the same thing, the breath illustrated here. So breathing exercises, slow, intentional breathing, that will be a really useful tool to get in touch with your body. And you'll know when your soul is coming through, when your higher self is coming through, because you will be washed over with this, with love and gratitude. And then, only then can you hear the truth. That's when you will hear the truth, coming from this place. Anything else, that's fear, that's your ego, that's mind chatter. And then we have our final message. I go with the flow and feel my connection to the stream of life. And that's the beautiful thing, is that when you come back to yourself, you come back to a feeling of oneness with all things. And it's from this place that you can receive the wisdom you need. It's from this place that you can receive the answers you need. Yeah, I really think, like, I think we know practically what needs to be done. It's like, you know, we need to declutter our life. We need to get really clear and focus on the one main thing, or the main things we want to do, and then give all our energy to that. That's like the practical steps. But I think when it comes to finding the courage to do that, or when it comes to actually knowing what to prioritize, this is what we need. Breathing. Yeah. Just being still and breathing and getting into your body, because once you're in your body, you're connected to everything. And that's when the answers will come. Wow. So just to finish off, I'm going to hold up each affirmation in case you want to screenshot it or write it down or use it in your practices. So we'll start over here. I trust my inner voice. I radiate love and gratitude. I am at home in my body. And I go with the flow and feel my connection to the stream of life. Okay, my group number 3s, these are the messages I have for you today, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for allowing me to collaborate with you again on another seasonal bundle. And thank you so much to the creators of these lovely decks. I will have both the bundle, which is both decks together, as well as the individual decks linked down below if you feel you'd like to get a closer look at one or both of these decks. You can see all of the cards on Tarot Stack's website. And remember, if you would like to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive, timeless pick-a-card readings just like this one. You can also decide on topics for future readings. I'm going to link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I really, really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your support. Group number 3, I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, either directly or indirectly, and I'm sending lots of love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Selenite, this is going to be your reading. We're going to start off by pulling some tarot cards, and then we will pull some oracle cards to figure out why it is that you are feeling stuck or stagnant right now, what could be blocking you, and what you can do to remove these blockages. And the decks that we are using today, this is the KINO Tarot Fall Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. Basically, every season I pick out a tarot and oracle deck combo that works well together, that looks good together, and that represents the energy of that season. And so For fall of 2023, I went with the Moonchild Tarot Shadow Work Edition and the Dreamy Moons Affirmation cards. And for those of you guys who are not familiar with Tarot Stack yet, they're an online shop that features a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks. Their collection is always growing. It's so beautiful and diverse, and you can browse decks from a lot of different creators all in one place. And I really love the support that Tarot Stack gives to our community. Not only do they provide this platform for us to discover new decks and new creators, but they also fund new indie deck projects. So 50% of their profits go towards printing, publishing, and marketing tarot and oracle decks by independent creators. So thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for everything you do. Thank you for letting me collab with you. And I am gonna have this bundle linked down below. I'll also link both of the individual decks, so if there's one in particular that you are resonating with and you want to give it a closer look, you can do that on Tarot Stack's website. You can actually look at every single card in the deck on their site. So I'll have like the bundle, both of them together. I'll also have the individual links. And if you would like to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. So without further ado, let's get into your reading, starting off with your tarot. And I will be taking reversals today. My group number fours. Why are my group number fours stuck right now? What is blocking them? What is blocking my group number fours from making progress? Woo! Or from manifesting their desires? So these two came out together. I'm going to keep them together. Interesting, we have double Aries. We have Aries and Mars in Aries, which is like triple Aries. The Emperor in the upright and the Two of Wands in the reverse. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. This last one is taking a second. Then we have the Empress in reverse. Interesting. We have both the Emperor and the Empress coming out, but the Emperor is in the upright. The Empress is in the reverse. Okay, this makes sense. The fact that that last card was taking some time to come out, that could be a sign for this group. Maybe some of you who chose this group, what you are stuck on is the final stages of something. You might have a feeling of being so close and yet so far away from what you desire. You've come 90% of the way there, and it's just this one last thing that you need to fall into place, and that's not happening. I feel like for some of you, that last card taking a long time to come out could be like mirroring your situation, or it could just be in general, things are feeling slow. Things are feeling slow for this group. The same way we had a lot of Aries energy at the start. Now we have some Virgo energy and some Taurus and Libra energy with the Empress. It's interesting that one of these is upright and one of these is reversed, because both of these cards do have a meaning of independence to them. But the Two of Wands particularly talks about having multiple like options or multiple doors opening for you or multiple opportunities. And when I look at these two energies together, what I really feel called to tell this group is that there's more than one way to be independent, or being independent can look different. And the way it's coming through is that those of you who chose this group, it seems like you do have a strong desire to be independent, to be in charge, to be empowered, to be the main character in your life. And that's a very valid desire, and I think you very much are in this energy, or you're well on your way to being in this energy. But I think something that could be blocking you, it's like you might have kind of a rigid idea of what independence looks like. And so you may be rejecting things that would actually be beneficial to your success because it doesn't align with that narrow idea of what independence looks like. Because the Emperor, he can, because he is a number 4 card, right? Which is very solid and stable. He can sometimes be like stubborn or set in his ways. And I think it's coming through as a rigidity here. And an easy example of this is, it's almost leaning into hyper independence. And an easy example of this is, someone who, they want to be their own person. They want to be like self-made. They want to be in charge in their life, to the point that maybe they are refusing help because that doesn't align with their narrow idea of independence. They might be equating independence with like, I never need help from someone else. And if I accept help from this person, it means that I'm weak. It means that I can't do it on my own. Some of you, this interpretation also came up. Some of you have maybe had, this might come from past experience, but it's coming through as like, if I let this person help me, then they're going to hold it over my head that I'm indebted to them, or it's going to make our dynamic weird, so I'd rather just not even like let them in and let them do this for me, because then they're probably going to expect something in return, and then if I can't give that to them, then they're going to get upset. It's like you don't even want to go there or make things be transactional, so I'd rather just figure it out on my own. Which I'm quite sad if you've had past experiences that were like that, and that now, leave you to be reluctant to open up and to accept help and to accept things from people. And yeah, I'm having this image in my head, especially of like women or feminine people, where like a man has helped them and now they're being weird, like, you know what I mean? Like they're expecting something now, and they're like, well, I was nice to you, I helped you do this. Like people being nice to you and then holding it over your head, or like people helping you and then holding it over your head. Some of you have had this experience, and so like you're wary of opening up to that kind of assistance and support in the future, which I really feel for you if that's the case. But I do think that could be something that is keeping you stuck, and maybe we have to learn how to open up again and learn how to receive again after a time in our life where receiving was hard, or receiving led to a negative situation. Because with the Empress in reverse too, the Empress is very much the divine feminine energy. She's open, she is softened, she is receptive. And I feel like this is an energy that we're struggling to get into, which I can completely understand. I think many who chose this group were really in our like independent, doing it on our own, masculine energy, and we're less in our open, receptive, feminine energy. And it keeps like, it's so reasonable that you would lean towards this. I feel like you've had repeated experiences that have kind of pushed you more and more towards this side of being hyper independent, or just not letting people in, or not accepting help or not asking for help. You know, you could have had, it could even be like parents who made you feel guilty. Like, I did so much for you and you can't even do this. As if people are entitled to your energy because they were nice to you, or like because they gave you something. Or people can just like tell you what to do because they did this deed for you. So, you know, this could come from so many different people. And I honestly feel like for this group, it's probably a number of experiences that you've had throughout your life that kind of accumulated and just, you know, made you turn more and more inward rather than like opening up to others' energy and love and support. It's just like, fine, damn, like I'll do it myself. You know, if it's going to be like this when I open up, if it's going to be like this when I reach out, like I'll just do it myself. And it may even be frustrating to hear this advice over and over of like, accept help from others, like open your heart and trust. It may be frustrating to hear that because it's like, how do I do that? How do I feel safe to do that after some of the crap that I've been through? And with the Eight of Pentacles here in reverse, I do think it is kind of like working a muscle, like learning to trust again or learning to receive again. It is like working a muscle or like learning a skill. And I think the same way it maybe took a long time for you to lean into this energy, it will take a long time for you to get back in balance. The same way it took many negative interactions to get out of balance, it will take many repeated positive interactions to get back into balance. And I think it's unfair. Okay. It doesn't have to take equal time. So if you, let's say you had repeated negative experiences for like 10 years of your life, it doesn't mean it has to take 10 years for you to heal. That sounds very discouraging. It doesn't mean it has to take 10 years for you to heal. But at the same time, it's not fair to expect yourself to heal overnight. It's not fair to expect yourself to heal instantly. And so it's a practice, and it's something that we can do in baby steps, and it's something that doesn't have to be linear. But I think what is keeping you between, like what is coming between what you desire, what is coming between and what you want to manifest, is it's like a hyper self-reliance, or it's having walls up. It's feeling like you need to do everything on your own. And slowly but surely, and at a pace in which we are comfortable, I think that there is a need to get back into a receptive energy, and also to getting back into your feminine energy. That was my doorbell, and actually a deck arrived while I am filming your reading. So we probably have to pull a couple cards from this deck. I'll do it at the end of the reading, even though this is not part of the bundle. I'm gonna make an exception because it's definitely a sign that arrived like while I'm in the middle of filming your group. But what I was talking about, I think, is being more in your feminine energy will help you to get unstuck. And when I think of masculine energy, in this case, it feels very black and white, and it feels very point A to point B. And your spiritual team is saying having this outlook is going to keep you stuck. And it feels kind of ironic, doesn't it? Because I feel like the masculine energy, it's all about like getting shit done and like no nonsense, point A to point B, and we're gonna do it in the fastest and most efficient way. Whereas the feminine energy just wants to breathe and take up space and not even be in a physical form. Like, we're not going A to B, we're everywhere at the same time. Like, we're just expanding. So at least that's how it's feeling to me right now. Some of you guys who chose this group, you could have kind of tunnel vision on a goal. And it's like you're so focused on the goal that you may be ignoring other valuable side quests, if you will, other valuable life experiences that will enrich your life in other ways that maybe the hyper masculine version of you does not deem important, maybe even deems like a waste of time because it's not bringing you to this one specific A to B goal. There may even be detours life wants to offer you that, even if they're not in your schedule, they would help you reach your goal. They would give you some insight or allow you to make a connection with someone that would help you with your goals. But like tunnel vision on your goals is not helping right now. It's like we need to slow down and live life and allow for unplanned events, allow ourselves to go on side quests, allow ourselves to dilly-dally and frolic and just be in the moment and enjoy our life, because that is what it's for. I'm also hearing some of you may be hyper fixated on one aspect of success, like money or follower count or something like that. One aspect that is not really a holistic view. It's like someone who's obsessed with BMI, for example, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's only one number. It doesn't really paint a picture of someone's health, or doesn't even paint a picture of like someone's body, really. Like, sure, it does mean something, but on its own, like, why does it matter? You might be fixated on like one specific thing like that in the grand scheme of things is not even really an accurate depiction of who you are or how worthy you are. Like, I hope that makes sense. It's like, depending on this one aspect, depending on this one metric, that will determine if I reached my goal or if I'm successful or if I can be happy. And it's like there's a more holistic way of looking at what you're doing is kind of the vibe, you know? So even like, I don't know, I can use YouTube videos as an example. You might say, oh, that video has 1 million views, so it must be good. And then you go to the video and there's like no engagement, or everyone's commenting that they didn't like the video. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes the hyper masculine energy lacks context, or like doesn't really look at the nuance in things. And we might just be hyper fixating on something without nuance, and that is blocking us from our happiness. Oh, okay. We're gonna pull, oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm being clumsy right now. We're gonna pull some clarifiers for this energy. What else does group number 4 need to know about this energy? Ooh, we have the Queen of Wands in the upright. We have Moonchild in reverse. Ah! That's a lot. Sorry. Why am I clumsy all of a sudden? Let's try that again. Then we have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands in the upright. It's so interesting how, you know, the page is like the child, the queen is like the adult. And I really do feel this is representing the current you, the adult you, and your inner child. And it's like your inner child is trying to speak to you, but there's a blockage in between you and your inner child. And I want to go into the guidebook and read about the Moonchild. It's an original card to this deck, and I feel like it's gonna be relevant for you guys. So let me see where she is. Okay, here it is. So we have Moonchild. It's on pages 122 and 123. Drifting beneath the crescent of the moon, a moonchild rests in quiet contemplation, feeling the transition of the phases of this great celestial body. Always in her orbit, pulling at her emotions and pushing her in creative directions, she knows she is deeply in tune with its shimmering light. We have the keywords magic, ritual, connection, abundance, manifestation. The inquiries are, how can I connect with the moon and cosmos? What moon phase am I currently in at this time? And we have an affirmation, I speak with the moon and she speaks with me. When this card shows up, it asks you to consider how you can cultivate your own sacred relationship with the moon. This luminous beacon functions as a great celestial doorway into new spaces and opportunities within and around you to help you see beyond the limitations of your lived reality. Through keeping track of her ebb and flow, as well as our feelings and sensations each day, we can refine our intuition and boundaries each month to help support more informed choices when it comes to our heart. Are there any energies that need to be released? Is it time to start a new project? What is internally or externally inhibiting you from rising, growing, or healing? How are you delaying your own productivity? Since Mama Luna also illuminates our shadows, she helps us glean meaning and potency from the darker moments of our days, the mistakes, the heartache, the misplaced steps. But instead of these burdens, she sees diamonds of potential forged within the fires of our deepest dimensions, pushing and pulling us to wise up to our layers, provoking us to feel all the feels and express them at times with utter lunacy. But don't fret, there is a method to her madness. She brings out our most raw expressions and allows us to transmute them from within. After this, we may become lighter, softer, and prepared for a new dawn, knowing how far we have come and how far we can go. How would you like to journey with her next? There's a few more pages of this passage. I will hold it up, like if you'd like to pause and read it or screenshot it for later. And there's also some questions to consider on this page with regards to the Moonchild. But wow. This card, I mean, I probably should have guessed from the name of the card, it being called the Moonchild. I think it's definitely talking about your inner child, but also talking about the divine feminine energy that you possess. There was a lot of emphasis on the phases of the moon and the ebb and flow, which I think mirrors like the feminine cycle and how it's synced with the moon. And even the fact that there's a queen here, this is feminine energy again. It's almost as if your inner child holds the key to getting back in touch with this energy. The energy that you're trying to get back to is one that you naturally possessed from the early stages of your life. It's what comes naturally to you. And so what we're really doing here, like getting into this energy, it's not a learning, it's remembering. It's not like you're obtaining new information or mastering something that was outside of you. You're remembering and coming back to something that is already in you. But I do feel like there are walls that are put up. Even the fact that this Page of Wands, it looks like there's literally walls up around them. Your inner child has some deep, deep wisdom, and it's like you can't remember it. I know sometimes it's hard to remember things from when we're very young. Maybe there's like, it's linked to trauma. Like when a traumatic thing happens, our brain can forget it to protect us. It's maybe something that you blocked out, but there's some wisdom that your inner child has. And I feel like if you've been feeling that something is like nagging at you or something is niggling inside of you, it may be that your inner child has been trying to speak to you and trying to get your attention. And maybe this is something that they can do through your subconscious, something that they can do through dreams, for example, when your conscious mind is asleep. That's so interesting. The key to unblocking yourself here, and the key to getting back into your divine feminine energy, your creative energy, the version of you that honors your ebbs and flows and honors whatever shape you might be taking in the moment, rather than trying to fit you in a hard mold that has no breathing room, that has no flexibility. To come back to your natural self, the key is to connect with your inner child, because they knew how to do this naturally. It's almost like it was conditioned out of you, and your inner child hasn't felt safe ever since. But we need to reconnect with them and nurture them and let them know that it's safe, that their presence is wanted, that their insights are wanted. This group maybe has experienced neglect in some way in your early years, or like invalidation. There's a feeling of not getting the attention you needed or not getting the recognition you needed, and that caused you to slowly like harden up or close up. I'm going to roll a couple sets of dice to see if we can get any other insights on this energy. We have Venus in Pisces in the first house. Wow. Yeah, so you guys are the dreamers. Like, first of all, you are such a soft soul. That's like the word that comes to my mind immediately, is like soft, and very, very imaginative, very, very creative. You're likely the type as a child that you made up tons of different worlds and different characters, and life felt magical. Life felt like a fairy tale. I think you also had the gift of really immersing yourself in any world. So like if you were reading a book, you could really genuinely feel like you were in that world. It would feel real to you. Or if you were watching a movie, watching a TV show, you could imagine what it was like to be in the screen and be in that world. Like a very immersive imagination. And just so brilliantly creative and so effortlessly compassionate for everyone. And I guess when I say effortlessly, it's like you're not thinking, oh, I should be kind to that person. Oh, I should hold space for that person. I should show them compassion. I think it's just something that came and does come so naturally to you. And even those who are, with finger quotes, like harder to love or harder to accept, it seems like you just had radical love and acceptance for everyone. This is something that you have since childhood. Like with this being the first house, it's your identity. It's part of who you are. But I will say with Venus and Pisces, yes, like with this placement or people with this energy, you do need to be careful about being naive, or that assuming everyone has good intentions and letting your guard down. And it really is a balance when it comes to boundaries. We don't want to have no boundaries, but we don't want to have boundaries that are like brick walls. And I think it's like maybe our boundaries were too soft and we got hurt, and then we, out of like a knee-jerk reaction, understandably, we got scared and like snapped into having hard boundaries because we're like, I didn't like that. I don't want that to happen again. And I think that's a natural reaction, but I think we're wanting to get into that healthy middle ground. We're wanting to find that balance now. What else does group number 4 need to know? We have Mars in Gemini in the 3rd house. So Paired with this energy, I do think as well, something about your inner child and maybe even you now is being very sensitive. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think being very sensitive, it's like a neutral trait, but it can lead to you getting hurt quite easily. Looking at Gemini and the third house, I definitely think this is talking about people's words, what people say to you or what people think of you. And then with Mars, it feels like an attack. So, you know, you could take, like, let's say somebody thought they were just like playfully making a little jab at you. Not that that makes it okay, but they might have said it in a very light way, but then you really, really took it to heart. You may have been, oh, I was this kid, like if someone laughed at me, I would just start crying. Doesn't matter the context, doesn't matter if they're laughing with me, doesn't matter if they're laughing because I'm cute, I will just start crying. I was very sensitive like that. So, you know, people's words could have really, really, really hurt. And it's like, how do you make people understand that? How do you make people see how you're feeling? Like if other people don't think it's a big deal, or if other people don't react that way. And you may have even had people be like, oh, relax, it was just a joke. Oh, relax, it's not that big of a deal. And it's like, instead of making space for how you're feeling, they immediately go into the defense of like, well, I didn't mean it that way, so you shouldn't be upset. Like, okay, it doesn't matter how you meant it. It matters the impact that your words had, especially if like this is a friend or a family member, you know? Like just listen to how I'm feeling. But no, it's about defending what I meant. And I'm upset that you're upset, so now it's about me. Yeah, I feel like this goes deep. I feel like you getting into this hardened energy, it runs deep, and it's understandable that the experiences that you've had up until now would have led to this. But the key to getting unstuck is to move out of this energy and back into the softness and back into the openness. Not all the way, because we don't want to have like no boundaries, but we want a filter. We don't want nothing there, and we don't want a brick wall there. We want a filter where the good, loving energy can pass through, and those who want to help and support us and honor us can come through, and the BS can stay out. And that is something that takes practice, and it takes time to get used to it again and to feel your way through it. It really just is time and practice. I don't think there's a magic formula to know like where to put your boundaries. I think it takes trial and error, and it takes making some mistakes and getting hurt again, but you will be okay. You'll survive it. So let's move on to the affirmations oracle deck and see what affirmations could help you. Affirmations could be helpful to my group number 4s at this time. I maintain alignment with my source energy. So remembering that you're connected to spirit, that's definitely been a big one throughout the groups today. I am in perfect balance, exactly. I can, I will. Yeah, remembering our connection to spirit as well as self-belief, like really believing in yourself. Those have been the big ones throughout the groups today. And we have, I do not have to prove myself to anyone. This came out for group number 1 as well. So in case you want to screenshot these or write these down or use them in your practices, I will hold them up one by one. I maintain alignment with my source energy. I am in perfect balance. I can, I will. And I really like these together because it's like believing that you can, that balance can be achieved, that you can and will balance your energy, that you can and will reconnect to your authentic self, that you can and will reconnect to your inner child. And then finally, we have, I do not have to prove myself to anyone. So as you're going through these changes and you're re-embracing your authentic energy, there may be people who don't understand it because they've only known and related to a more inauthentic version of you. And to those people, you do not have to justify your changes. You don't have to prove that it's valid. You just have to change. You just have to blossom. So I also want to, let's get a couple. So these are like crystal cards. So these could very well be crystals that would help you on this journey. I think I'll pull 2 for you guys, or just however many want to come out. We'll see. What crystals could be helpful to group number 4s to help balance their energy? What crystals could be helpful to help them connect with and heal their inner child? What crystals could be helpful to help them hear the wisdom within? We have a Larimar, and this one may be a little bit difficult to get, if I'm being honest, because it only comes from the Dominican Republic, and it can also be a bit of a pricier one, but just in case, we have Larimar here. And this is talking about infinite love. You're attracting infinite love and happiness, and you are, oh my gosh, it's like you have an angelic healing presence to you. And that makes so much sense. Like what I have seen from your energy, you're a healer. I would even call you an earth angel. You have an angel-like healing presence, and you're attracting infinite love and joy. Like this is the impact that you're meant to have on the world. This is the impact that you do have on the world. Dolphins could be significant to this group as well. What other crystals could be helpful to group number 4s? We have amethyst, and it says your heart is awakening, and it's talking about a beautiful purple light. So maybe if you do meditations, imagining a purple light going into your heart, or imagining a purple light emanating from your heart space, that could be a helpful practice. But yeah, this card is talking about your heart awakening, and your heart is your greatest compass when it comes to navigating your boundaries and navigating how you connect with other people. And you're reclaiming that innate power that you have to know what is good for you and who is good for you. Let's get one more. Or 2 more. We have black diamond. That's probably quite expensive. Black quartz is a thing as well. I have some black quartz. And rose quartz. This is talking about an undying love. This is talking about love and beauty. It's funny, I was getting the feeling throughout this reading that some of you are manifesting love or manifesting a soulmate. Just because we had the Emperor and the Empress together, it was giving me the feeling of like calling your soulmate back in, or reuniting after a separation. And so with these 2 cards coming out together, I think they want you to know that your union is protected and that it can't go anywhere. Like this card is talking about an undying love. Like it cannot get lost. It cannot be destroyed. And it's a beautiful thing that should be protected and that should be cherished. I love the focus on love and the focus on the heart. Even this one, the infinite love. Beautiful, beautiful. So, group number 4s, these are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. And thank you so much to Tarot Stack for allowing me to collaborate with you once again. And thank you so much to the creators of these beautiful decks. I'm going to have this bundle linked down below. I'm also going to have the individual decks linked down below. If you want to check out more of the cards, you can see all of them on Tarot Stack's website. And if you would like to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive, timeless pick-a-card readings just like this one. You can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song, and I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate your support. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly, and I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!